Good day, fight fans. We're here with the President and CEO of SNAC, Mr. Victor Conte. How you doing, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
How are you today?
good, fine. Thank you for asking. Based on what you see with Manny Pacquiao, with the way he fights and all that, because you mentioned speed, flexibility, and all of that, do you think just like an opinion, do you think he has the characteristics of somebody who might be on something illegal?
I would not want to single out Manny Pacquiao because I have no direct evidence that he's ever used any performance-enhancing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I think you need to be suspicious of everybody at the elite level. And, is what he's doing to go from the lower weight division up to many weight divisions higher and maintain his speed and power, is that suspicious? Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, are there people that throughout Olympic or professional sport history that are just genetic freaks and have a mindset that's very powerful? And I guess the question is, could you do what Manny Pacquiao does, or could other fighters do what Manny Pacquiao does and be clean? I believe with high-tech nutrition and training and these other available methods, like this intermittent hypoxic training, which has some of the same benefits you would receive from using EPO, I believe it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think everybody there's a cloud of suspicion that everybody needs to be given the benefit of the doubt, and specifically Manny Pacquiao, until some specific, information comes forward indicating that he has used performance-enhancing drugs. So it's suspicious, but I don't think that Manny should be singled out.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And just to get your word on it, so the 14-day cutoff, the 24-day cutoff, and like the same day as the fight cutoff, that doesn't really mean much, huh? Because there's ways to circumvent it.
Listen, I can tell you that I was contacted by some people associated with Mayweather when they were having the judge arbitrate and try to come up with a program. And what I recommended, and I clearly understand, and Manny Pacquiao is not the first athlete that has had an adverse psychological response to having their blood drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Pacquiao from Jamaica, who for many years was the world record holder in the 100 meters, the world's fastest human,
mm-hmm.
in Beijing, said that he felt that he was affected by having his blood drawn before the 100 meters there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it may only be psychological,
uh-huh.
but hey, that's a valid explanation, and some people don't like it, and it has an effect upon them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I suggested that they use a 5-day out from the fight cutoff.
Uh-huh.
And I think that you've got to take it a step at a time, and I just don't think you can walk in and take over the whole sport and implement Olympic caliber testing by USADA
uh-huh.
all at the same time. I think that you have to compromise. You have to look at the specifics of boxing
mm-hmm.
and develop a program that is hand in glove, tailor-made for the sport of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggested 5 days out because there are certain things that you could do to more easily circumvent as opposed to using the 14-day or the 24-day out
mm-hmm.
As a cutoff for testing. So I would recommend 5 days. But, when you're hungry, a half loaf of bread is better than none.
Uh-huh.
And I think that you need to compromise. And I don't think it's ever going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And that bringing in USADA is the end-all.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Uh-huh.
So, I think that it can be negotiated, and Manny Pacquiao now came and said that he would be willing to test all the way up until 14 days before.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is they need to make this fight. Let's get it on.
Oh, right on, sir.
I think that's a compromise that should be accepted by Mayweather, and that all parties concerned need to understand that just because Manny Pacquiao agreed to do the USADA testing and do what Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather did, that doesn't necessarily mean they're clean.
Uh-huh.
It reduces the possibility of drug use, but sophisticated people that are determined to cheat could still use drugs. And like I say, you sign the fight today and you start the testing 5 weeks out from the fight. Who's to say that they're not both using anabolic steroids for months?
Yeah.
I mean, months and months after you do a series of cycles of steroids, you may improvement in performance. So we don't live in a perfect world. I think that you need to compromise, and I would like to see for the benefit of all those in the world of boxing, I'd like to see Floyd Mayweather agree to a 14-day out that Manny Pacquiao has said that he would comply with.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring this fight.
Right on.
That this testing, look, this guy Floyd Landis is now coming out regarding Lance Armstrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I have heard is that a lot of these guys are using testosterone as well as EPO and before, and then doing blood transfusions during the competition.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, a few cyclists have been busted, but when it's 90% of these guys doing it, and you're catching less than 1%, how effective is the testing really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Right? So let's don't, suggest that Travis Tygart and USADA are they're not God.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly can't make any guarantees, and yes, random testing is more effective than not, but random testing means, just like I said to you, 24/7, 365. It doesn't mean for a few weeks before the fight.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Make sense?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
People have to understand that you can use steroids for 3 months, then taper off, sign a fight, and have all the benefits from using the steroids for those 3 months serve you during the fight 5 weeks after you go off.
So Tygart's methods is really just an inconvenience, because they're getting blood.
It is somewhat beneficial. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like it represented as an example that Floyd Mayweather is certified clean and Manny Pacquiao is not.
Mm-hmm.
That's just simply nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yes, he went through some testing. How effective is it? Well, better than none. But is it foolproof? The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
So now that Manny has stepped up and he's willing to do this 14 days out, well, geez, whatever claims they made about Floyd for his fight with Mosley, he was last tested 19 days out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So let's get real here. Floyd's saying my way or the highway. Well, that's BS.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be a compromise.
Yeah.
And there's never going to be 100%. So acknowledge that. And I think Manny has, made an effort to compromise, and he's moved in Floyd's direction, and Manny needs to be applauded for that.
There you go. And actually, I have this question. Do you know of any more effective ways to detect PEDs and all that doesn't require any blood drawing?
Well, here's even the blood drawing. They call this a biological passport. That means they look at these blood parameters, and then it should remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
And if it changes, then that means that even though they don't get a positive test for the drug, that the drug is having effect on these other parameters like the hematocrit, or your percentage of red blood cells. But what I just said on tape to you was, all you got to do is use all the drugs all the way up until the date they start collecting for your biological passport,
mm-hmm.
and then just continue through reinfusing red blood cells for the remaining 5 weeks. And then your biological passport remains normal.
Yeah.
Or not normal, but remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for inconsistencies.
Yeah.
So is it easy to beat the testing, even when they include blood testing? And the answer is yes. I just explained how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it all needs to be put in perspective. And instead, people are trying to say, well, Floyd stepped up and did this, and Manny's not, so there's got to be some reason. So maybe Manny's got something to hide. And don't get me wrong. I also said that Manny, there needs to be suspicion for Manny, but don't single him out. And there needs to be suspicion for Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because Floyd beat the testing doesn't mean that Floyd didn't use drugs.